Well, hello, and I guess welcome to my God of War Ragnarok review. As always, these won't be great, mostly just ramblings of an idiot. I will quickly preface this by saying, in the event you quite literally want zero spoilers, I guess just try and just leave me on like another tab and just listen to me ramble for like 15 minutes. Some things may still be partially spoiled, but if you don't think about it too much, then you should be fine. Like I say, if you pay very close attention, you could probably piece a thing here or there. Again, the characters may mention some things, which is obviously completely out of my control. Obviously, I can't stop them from talking, really. Yeah, I will try my best to not spoil anything, but post-game, who knows what might happen. Yeah, so God of War Ragnarok. Oh, and then later on I might do a slight spoiler thing. I'm not going to, unless I feel absolutely necessary, but if I do, I will very specifically say, from here on, this is the spoiler thing, but I'll just try and leave this as blank as I can go. I've only got like a few things to really say. Like overall, for me personally, I'm gonna get lynched for this. I'm gonna get lynched. For me personally, this game is alright. Like, the game overall, if you look at it as a whole product, is good, but it just has some things that I personally don't like. And like I said, I guess I'll just go into it. Like I say, some things, but the first things first, I'm going to try and show this off. I think I can do it. I think I can show it off. What I'm about to show off will be like extreme worst case scenario. Like I say, something, this one we'll show off will be like a little spoilery. But apparently the Certa trials in this game, I had no idea that they were even in 2018, if at all, ever. Maybe I did them and I've forgotten. Maybe they were a post-game thing and I didn't know. But this game was like, oh hey, we can go to Muspelheim and do Certa's challenges again. Thanks, update. I really do not remember going to Muspelheim ever. Doing any challenges. But the Crucible is here. But, so yeah, what I'm going to show off here is just the worst case scenario for the combat. Because basically the combat is, I mean, it's more of 2018, which is, I guess, not necessarily a bad thing. That's not what I would complain about. What I will complain about is the combat is not built for fighting more than basically 2 enemies at any given bloody time. Because like I said, what I'm about to show off is extreme worst case scenario, but I kind of just want to give you like a taste of what I'm kind of talking about. Yeah, so basically the combat is good. Obviously you have your combo moves and whatever, you have your different weapons and whatnot. Also companion, you can tell them to fire 2 different types of arrows, which do 2 different things, and then they've also got that blue little meter on the bottom, right? That is also their like special move. You can change that, upgrade that, do different things, which is nice. The AI completely fucking brain dead when it actually comes to the combat. They're fine to aggro an enemy or 2, but when you're fighting like 7, 8, I don't know how many I've fought at once, but when you're fighting quite a few enemies at once, this is where the combat breaks down, because whilst they're aggroing 1 enemy, you've now got like so many more willing to aggro you. And the issue that I have with this game is, as like I say, I'll show off in a moment, is let's say there's a guy all the way over there who's throwing stuff at you, but I'm fighting a melee unit over here. All you get in combat is them screaming at you, saying behind you, or you get a little marker indicating where the enemies are, and then it turns red when you're being hit. Now the problem with that is, is, like I say, I'm over here wailing away. Obviously, I'm stun locking an enemy, doing my combo moves, my parrying timings, and all that kind of stuff. And then you get a little red indicator. I don't know if there's an enemy over there lunging at me. I don't know if there's an enemy over there throwing a couple different type of ranged attacks. Like some ranged attacks can go really slow. Some of them are pretty quick. Obviously like arrows and stuff. There could even be a guy directly behind me waiting to melee hit me. And that is just my entire issue with the combat in this game, is what I would have liked for me personally, and I don't know if this would actually be any better, but I think personally what would have been good is, obviously if I'm fighting over here an enemy, I would like to turn the camera. Let me do this one. So obviously I'm fighting him there. I would like to turn the camera because obviously this is what's behind me. I know there's only one enemy towards the camera. I would love to be able to push my movement stick towards the camera whilst I'm fighting. Well, yeah, towards the camera whilst I'm fighting, which is where the enemy is. But I can use my stick to browse around to see what's going on. I feel like for me personally that would just make this combat be so much better, because like I say, you're stuck here, you know, fighting one dude against a wall. Like, what is my field of view of what's happening? And like I said, what I'm about to show off now will be like extreme worst case scenario. This is just one of the Certa trials. Again, like I say, just ignore this. I can't go out of the ring, otherwise I'll die. So like I say, that's just extreme worst case scenario. But like you say, you can see there that obviously she's aggroed one. They don't do much, as you can fucking see. So like I say, the AI, as far as I'm concerned, is pretty just fucking stupid. I mean, when she does fight, she's not too bad. You know, she can be doing damage. You know. But I just feel like, ignore me, I'm not really paying attention, but you know, like she can fight, see? Like the AI can do stuff, and they're not too bad. They're just, they don't usually fight too often. But anyway, so like I say, here's your problem. Like I'm over here fighting an enemy. You see what the problem is? I mean, see? Like one enemy's doing that one move, then another enemy's trying to hit you. You don't really have, like I say, now you've got that guy flinging stuff at you. Like, that is just my problem. Again, I'm trying to show this off worst case scenario. Like, just imagine me facing this way and I'm fighting an enemy, right? You've got your icons saying who's what and where. All you have is the indicator telling you red is that they are attacking, but who is attacking, how they're attacking, and what they're attacking with. You know, like him, he fires that, then it explodes. You've got the yellow guy that flings something that quickly. You've got these guys that leap on top of you. They all have slightly different variations of like attack speeds, right? And like I say, if I'm here fighting whoever's over here, I don't know who's doing what. I mean, all I can do is his dodge roll, which, don't get me wrong, it works. But I guess my tiny feeble brain is, yeah, like I said, I'm not paying attention. Like I guess my tiny feeble brain, like I would just like to, I guess, keep my combo going as long as possible. There are no combos in this, but you know, like obviously when you play some games, I mean, obviously I'm not really good at like Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden and stuff, but you know, like when you're playing, say, games like that, or say like Batman, you know, like if you want to be really good and like you want to combo enemies and feel like you want to do something like no hit within reason, like it just feels stacked against you when your only real way to fight back, you know, as you saw there, is to just hope, obviously think, because you know what enemies are there, you know roughly who might do what, but again, it's who's actually doing what. It's the problem. Like say that yellow guy who's flinging shit at you, you might want to attack, oh, it's gone red, then dodge roll, right? But at the same time, like, I would be able to like just be able to parry it, because that's a move that you can parry. But as far as I'm aware, I don't think you can parry anything from attacks being hit behind you. At least I've not been successful in doing it, so I don't think again, if I'm fighting and I see someone attacking, say, just off center, and I parry, I don't think it works because obviously that's where your shield is. Again, I guess I'm maybe asking a little too much because of the way the game is designed, but I don't know. I would kind of just prefer to have it just flow a little bit better. You know, just give me those impossible things, you know, like that thing's being flung all the way over at me, excuse me. Like you know, that stuff's being flung at me. If I see it like very last second about to hit me and I parry, I mean the parry, whatever you parry gets flown towards the guy you're fighting anyway. So being able to parry an attack behind you to throw it this way would be a little bit weird. But for me, like just being able to remove that sort of distinction of what makes physical and logical sense to just make gameplay smoothness sense. No, that's not really a thing, but you know, that's what I would just prefer. Because like I say, this game has a problem where it will throw, again, like you saw in this trial. We'll count. We'll count how many there are. Again, one thing I will quickly preface as well with how the combat works is on the very top left-hand corner you can see my character level. So I am currently level 7. Obviously, if you're fighting enemies who are level 1, you will kill them very quickly. Again, because my strength is 448 out of 500. I did kind of get that above 500, but I'm not entirely certain if that does go above 500. Because I was doing the math and I got it to about 500 plus, and I was like, I don't want to risk it, I want more strength. So I didn't actually buff it beyond 500. I assume it would max at 500 and like that's it. So then all my other strength stats would just be a waste. So that's why I've kind of changed my character a little bit to have a lot more defense. But anyway, so we've got... I'll have to wait a few seconds. I know I think we had what, 2 yellow guys, I think maybe 3 of these guys and 3 of the other blue guys. Oh yeah, that's also one other thing that I really hate is like Atreus will on occasion, if you get set on fire, like the AI will tell you stuff like, oh, Kratos or Father or whatever, you're on fire, but I think you already know that, and it's like I don't see the point in just some voice lines. Like if you want to tell me I'm on fire, that's fine. You know, like the quick lines of, oh, there's an enemy behind you, oh, you're on fire, or oh, you've been frosted or something would be better. But some voice lines, like I say, the one with the trace where he tells you you're on fire, waits a second, and then says, oh, but you probably already knew that. It's like, you know, tell me I'm on fire, fine, whatever. It's still annoying, I know, but it is what it is. But anyway, so what do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on screen. I mean, she's just killed them once, now we're back down to 4. I mean, she's weirdly actually doing stuff this time, a bloody round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, you've also got the blue circles. You can double tap your shield to break them. I don't remember if that was in 2018 or not. Yeah, so like I say, you can kind of do stuff like that. You can interrupt them. So yeah, maybe there's only like maybe 5, 6 enemies on screen at once when you're doing some fights. There are some enemies in this game that, like these little like worm creatures, I feel like there's like an infinite amount of them on screen at any given time. There isn't. But it's just that because they're just so small and there's quite a few of them when you're also fighting like these guys, it kind of just feels like I say, it kind of just feels, you know, there are just some situations in this game where you will just get stun locked, and I have had it on occasion where, again, like I'm fighting an enemy in the corner, you're not seeing what's going on. Is it my fault I'm in the corner? Yes, I guess, but at the same time, not really. But anyway, like you're fighting in a corner, one guy hits you because you don't dodge right or you don't see it coming or whatever. And then you get hit, and then another guy's hitting you, and then another guy's hitting you, and then another guy's hitting you. I have had it on, I think, 3 occasions. It's not been often, and for 29 hours, 3 times is really never, but it has happened. I mean, I have rambled on quite a bit about combat. What else is there to mention? I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can equip. Like there are different attachments and stuff to change and do different stats. So obviously strength is damage, defense is obviously how much damage you take. RNC or Runk is runic, so that's your special abilities, like the one you just saw me do, the spin move thing. Vitality, health, luck. I think luck is quite literally just based on some weapons have some bloody like stats. I think it's in armor specifically. So yeah, there you go. Combo finishes have a high luck chance to increase greatest strength. I think that's how luck works. I don't know what luck does exactly. And then CLD or KLD, I had no idea what the hell this bloody well meant until I had to look it up, because triangle, it's a magic button. But KLD is obviously cooldown. Just so obviously my abilities, like the one you just saw me use, takes 75 seconds. Obviously the higher your cooldown stat, the lower your cooldown is. So there are a few different things you can do here, there, and everywhere. You know, like you might want to like max your cooldown as much as possible, so you can use your abilities more often. Like again, like Nemean Crush takes 2 bloody minutes to refresh. Although I do have a shield ability where that blue circle you saw, if I stun them out of it with that move, then I get some cooldown back. So again, there are multiple different things you could do, but I kind of just went full strength because God of War, I'm Kratos, god damn it. So yeah, I just went with full strength until yeah, the maths didn't work out and you get to the end of the game and you're like, oh, I'm gonna buff strength way too much. So yeah, like I said, the combat's fine. I mean, everything's there where it needs to be. Again, you've got all the moves and cooldowns. I mean, again, I've got 80,000 XP. You're really not going to have, also spoiler alert, your new weapon, but you're not really going to have any problem whatsoever to get max level for your moves. One thing I will mention is you see these little icons here. Obviously, slightly increases damage of skill, stun. Those are, so basically the moves, as you see there with spinning chaos while evading, hold L and forward to do that move. The more you use it, the more it levels up. So I think it goes from nothing, bronze, silver, and gold. Once you get it to gold, that's where you can then add a mod to it. So, as you can see, I didn't really use too many bloody moves in the entire game. You know, like that one I've only used 8 out of 10 times. And that 39 out of 50. So I've got to use it 11 more times in combat. You have to do it in combat. You can't cheese it and do it in the open world. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. But yeah, you have to do them in combat. So yeah, once you get, I think, from nothing, I think it goes maybe from nothing to silver to gold. But once you hit, so once you hit this, it then just turns gold and that's it. Then you can choose an upgrade, so stun, element, or momentum. Obviously damage, element, momentum. Damage, protection, momentum, so you take less damage whilst using that move and stuff. So you can do that with the moves as well. So the more these moves you use, you can then bloody well upgrade them. Not all of them, as far as I'm aware, can be upgraded. Like this, striking an enemy during this attack increases damage dealt. I don't think you can upgrade stuff like that, so not every move can be upgraded. But for the most part, a few of them can, like the base moves can be upgraded. So I haven't done, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 10. Still, I don't use them much, but like this move where it's R1, 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 R2. But anyway, so other things that I kind of want to mention about this game, because like the combat's fine, bottom line, but it does suffer sometimes from being in scenarios where you don't know really what the hell's going on. Oh yeah, map. Alright, that's just that. Obviously goals, stuff here. I'm gonna try and get out of that in case of spoilers, but so yeah, now pretty much at this point, this is where it comes down to like story and miscellaneous things. Obviously I'm not really gonna go into the nitty-gritty details of the story, but the story overall, again, personal preference, it's fine. I don't really feel like it's done anything like, oh my god, amazing kind of deal. There are some twists and turns here or there. I mean, if you even have remotely one brain cell, you could probably see some of the twists and turns coming. Like they just are what they are. There are a few sections in the game for its story where even like I said, I don't want to spoil it, but I may have to at some point, but I'm not going to at this point in time. But there was one story section relatively early in the game that went on for way too long, and personally you could have like removed like a good 60% of what happened in like one chapter of the game and nothing would have changed personally, because basically what happens in this chapter, what I'm mentioning is there are some key story elements which are needed, obviously, because obviously that's how the overarching story progresses. So obviously this early section of, it's not early, it's about 30% of the way through the game, 30% of the way through the game that I didn't like. Like I say, some key story elements happen that then affect obviously the rest of the story elements towards the end of the game, before things become resolved, of course. And so it's just that 30% of what happens in the game, or what happens at 30% of the game story-wise. Like I say, the key elements, fine, whatever, they do play a part later in the story. So like I say, they're fine, I don't have a problem with them. It is just then the miscellaneous story element, what happens for like 2 hours. You know, so in the course of 2 hours, for like maybe half an hour to 45 minutes of it, you've got like actual story progression, things going here, they're introducing, like say, the story elements, the key moments and whatnot, to set some more things in stone, fine. But then it is just all the other stuff that goes on. It's a lot of downtime trying to take your mind off of the key elements that have just been happening in the story, and then it's like it's basically just like a big downtime section in the story is all it is. And I just feel like we could have done without, personally. You know, you could have easily reduced the game's bloody story time by a good hour and a half. You really didn't need it. Yeah, the overarching like I say, the story, it's fine, it's whatever. I wouldn't write home about it, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here at the same time and say, well, God of War 1's story was infinitely better. Like, as far as I'm concerned, games like this, and I guess just games in general, for me personally, I don't usually get too engrossed in stories. Like I say, I'm not going to say this is any better or worse than 2018 or even the old God of War games. Like I say, each game serves its own purpose in the story it wants to tell. You know, like obviously God of War 1 way back in like 2005 or whatever. You know, big angry bold man wants to kill God because he screwed him over. God wants to help him do it. He does it, right? And then you just mass murder your way through, like in Medusa and whatever other gods you're killing on the way to Ares. You know, so it's like obviously each game has its own story and its part to play. It is what it is. I wouldn't write home about any of the God of War's stories per se, but it's a fine story for the kind of game that they're making. Like I say, from beginning, middle, and end. Perfectly fine, it's perfectly serviceable. Like I say, it has that moment that I don't like, of that massive downtime. And then once that downtime's up, if you then say just focused on the main story, you can get the game done fairly quickly. But yeah, I beat it in 29 hours, and that was me doing a percentage of each of the maps. Because you go to... bloody hell. You pretty much, yeah, no, you do go just to all the bloody realms. You do. You do just go to all the realms in this. So, oh no, I won't actually show that off, to be honest. I can't. Spoilers. Yeah, so like I say, you do go to all the realms in this. So again, I don't think I'm missing anything. Dimension combat story. Oh yes, actually, that does remind me before I forget. So this game with its puzzles, I don't count throwing an eye. How the hell did I do that? Great game, 10 out of 10. Anyway. Yeah, so there's one thing I do need to mention. Right, so the puzzles in this game, I believe, much like the first game, throw axe on thing, freeze gate, walk through gate, puzzle solve, is 99% of the puzzles in this game. The one thing I do not like whatsoever is, as you know, with puzzles, you don't know you're doing one until you know you're doing one. So let's say I've just walked into this room, and let's say there's, say that's a gate that's locked off, right? You're walking in, you go, right, gate. So you're looking around for any mechanisms, any wheelies, pulley systems, whatever have you, you know, just to try and get a general understanding of what you might need to do. And then, before you've even remotely started to think about doing that, the game's saying, Herp, maybe we should be doing this, and it effectively just gives you the puzzle answer, and I really bloody well hate it. Again, don't give a shit because they're not puzzles. I mean, some of them are. Some of them are, like, you get... Right, okay, so there you go. So you get these little bubble things, whatever you throw into it, like, blows it up. And you can chain them, right? So I hit this one, then that one explodes. That is the extent of your puzzle, right? And obviously you're not going to know the answer to those kind of puzzles, especially the chain ones, right? Until you look at the puzzle, fiddle with it a bit, and then go, ah, right, this pulley moves this, blah, blah, blah. I set one here, set one there, set one there. Move the pulley system, throw the axe, boom, boom, boom. Puzzle solved, right? And then, like I said, that's just how some of these puzzles work. But the problem is when you get to, say, a pulley system and you start moving it to see how things move and work, these dickheads will just say, oh, maybe we should be doing this. And then it's like, oh, great, just give me the bloody puzzle answer, why don't you? Again, puzzles are basically the same sodding thing, you know, just throw the axe after moving to hold a gate in place to walk through, recall your axe, or boop, 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 hit this one, and then both explode at the same time on either side, or however you want to chain them. Like, that is just how all them all work. It's just slight variations in how you might need to chain them is what you need to think about. But it is just annoying that they will just outright say, maybe we need to chain this, or maybe we should be using your axe to freeze the system and all this crap. It's like, it doesn't give you enough time. So for me, what I would like, again, is an accessibility option, because I have looked this up, and as far as I'm aware, it isn't. So unless that update that I've just bloody well downloaded, then I guess my point is moot. But for day one update, there is no accessibility option to stare at a puzzle and then, like, just have, like, a contextual button to be above, friend. So you can just press button and they're like, excuse me, you know, like, maybe they can just give you a hint, and maybe with the accessibility option, you can have it off, partial, so, when you press the button, they'll tell you hints in increasing, detail. So they might say, maybe we need to get this gate open somehow. I don't know, that's level 1 or something. Or maybe you have like a full puzzle thing where they'll just outright tell you, oh, we need to freeze this system by using these, and maybe we should hit the middle one first, right? You know, maybe having an accessibility option like that would be nice. Instead of, like, say, just outright within reason just kind of telling you whilst you're trying to move the systems and whatever to get everything set in place. That's the only other thing that I would like changing. Again, as per usual, these, like, dumb ramblings that I make called reviews, they're not really well thought out. They're mostly just things that I can think of that are the most egregious to me. Like I say, the combat is good for me. Camera would be nice. Let's say the story, take it as you will. You might like it, you might hate it. You might hate it, you might hate it. You might love it. I don't know. I'm in the middle. It was alright. Again, for a bloody God of War story, it does what it needs to do. And then, like I say, just an extra accessibility option for puzzles. Next, I don't really think there is anything else that I can think of that I either thought was really good or really bad or just kind of meh. Yeah, I guess as well, the collectible side of things, again, it goes down the route of having to boat down bloody narrow passageways to go from, like, beginning to all the way to the bloody end. But the one thing that this game does do quite nicely, again, I can't really show it off because potential spoilers, because what I will show if I interact with that will spoil something in the game, but... yeah, so basically, in this game, I was in 2018 from what I remembered, you went to the main fast travel hub thing, and then you fast traveled and you had to run through the entire bloody map again. I don't remember there being fast travel points. This game is good because these gateways, as you see, are fast travel points. So let's say obviously there's one there, and let's say there's a 5-minute walk down the road, there might be another one there. So if you are going to collect things in the game, you can at least fast travel to a closer section and then get on a boat or get on some sleds, like you've seen in the trailer. And be closer to where you need to be. I do like that about this game. I still don't think there's enough fast travel points in a couple of the maps. Like, I still feel, again, unless maybe I didn't find them. So again, grain of salt, take a grain of salt. But if I didn't find them, but as far as I'm aware, I've missed 2. But the 2 that I'm talking about are quite literally 5 seconds from, like, another bloody fast travel point. So... yeah, so I mean, as always with these reviews, I mean, I kind of always end them off with a little bit of if you've got anything, any questions, as always, do leave them in the comments below. I will try my utmost best to remember or try and answer them as best to my ability. But yeah, at the end of the day, this game is fine. It really doesn't warrant 70 quid. Even if you're 100%ing it, I personally don't believe it warrants £70, almost at 100. I don't personally believe it warrants 70 quid. If this game was still regular ye olde day one prices of about 50, because I bought it for 50 because I completely forgot I had £15 on my game loyalty card. So it went down to 15 because I'm going to trade this in. I will get either 50 trade-in back at game, or if I go to a second-hand store, I will get 47 cash, so it doesn't really matter which way I do it. So for me personally, having spent £0 on this, great game, 10 out of 10. But no, at the end of the day, I don't really like giving scores personally, but I think the game was fine. Like I say, it's a good 7 if I have to give it a score. Like I say, I'm not a fan of scores. But if I had to, it's a decent 7. I guess I'd give it an 8. With my, like, 3 improvements, but again, that's just my personal preferences. Combat, definitely I would probably raise it to an 8 if they did do that stuff with the combat, as I mentioned. For me personally, that would just solve all of my nitty-gritty issues with this game. Yeah, so I hope anyone who watches this gets some helpful information out of it, I hope. Again, like I say, if not, please do leave a comment below with a question or anything and I'll try and answer. Please don't lynch me for not giving this game a 20 out of 10 or not thinking it's like the most perfect game ever. Like I say, I do have my gripes with it. Yes, I still think, like I say, this game is fine. It's a good, decent game. If you like 2018, you'll like this. If you somehow haven't bought it yet, or if you're on the fence, I'd still say maybe wait for a sale. Again, with Christmas like right around the corner, maybe this will go on sale even slightly, and even a slight sale to wait for a month. Knock yourself out. Yeah, like I say, for PS5 day one price is 70 quid. No, I really cannot. I mean that's just my personal preference for any modern game ever. You're asking 70 quid? No. Like I say, I only got lucky because I had the money on the card and whatever, so it went to £50 and then trade-in is 50, so I'm paying nothing to play this. Yeah, so, it is a little unfortunate. Oh, no, don't do that. Yeah, so anyway, I hope you enjoyed the ramblings. Maybe I should just change these to, ramblings, not reviews. Yeah, so anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, if you've got any questions, do leave them below. And I will see you in whatever hell I play next. I mean, I think Callisto Protocol is the next game. Yeah, Callisto Protocol is the next game. I'm not sure if I'm buying that. I think a friend's buying it, which probably means he's buying it on Steam. It means I can steal it off of him. So, that should round out the year quite nicely. If he doesn't, I'm not entirely certain if I will or not. I think the game is like £50 anyway, 55, something like that. So with again trading this in free game, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. Anyway, let's say without further ado, I will see you in whatever I do next. Until then, I'll see you next. Ta-ta.